Good morning, Razzballers. Happy Sunday once again. It is the semifinal round, week 16 of the fantasy football playoffs. Very excited to bring you a Sunday live start sit show here with the Razzball team. We got a quad box kicking off for you, getting us ready for the championship round. We got some weather around the NFL. We got 3 games in the books. What are we going to do with some start sits? Let's figure it all out right now on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back to the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. Got a quad box for you this morning. I love the layout. Nice. Boom. Razzball right in the middle. We don't get to use those very often because we got a 5 box. We got a 6 box. Sometimes we only got 2 of us. Very excited to bring it to you here. We got Matty Styles in the top corner with me as well. Styles 08, Davey Cruz sitting in the bottom. Cruiser 128, the boss, Bobby Lamarco at Bobby Lamarco, and myself, Sky Guasco, hosting you through the next 2 hours for the kickoff to the live Sunday Start Sit show. We are in the semifinals, gentlemen. We need to win to get to the championship, which we are going to do this week. And then when we get to the championship, bring home those hashtag Razzball championships. You can find everything Razzball throughout the week, throughout the off season, and into 2025. On Razzball NFL. That's Razzball NFL. You can find everything right here on the YouTube channel for the visual pleasure. And also, everything gets duplicated onto the podcast side for those of you audiophiles like myself who like to listen to it on the go. That's the Razzball Fantasy Football Show on YouTube and the podcast. And then all of our amazing writers, articles, exclusive tools available for you for free at football.razzball.com. We got 3 games in the books already. We all watched the Chargers get past Bo Nix and the Broncos 34-27. The Chiefs accidentally won another one at home, 27-19. And the Baltimore Ravens made short work of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who did have a chance early in that game, 34-17. Got a little bit of weather, 96% chance of rain up here in Seattle. No surprise there. And then TBD, the weather in Green Bay. All it says is basically it's going to be a freezing drizzle, which if you've experienced that, it's not the best. So we do have a handful of games left for you. I'm going to go around the horn here, gentlemen. Welcome in. Good morning. Let everybody kind of trickle in. We do have a handful of people in the chat already. So, of course, we're going to get to all of your start set questions. We got Jeff. We got Lindorfin's back. Gavin. Zazen is in here as well. So we're going to get to all your questions. But first, gentlemen, for the holiday spirit, we're going to bring it in. My first question to you is, Bob, is Santa bringing you a new chair? And then for everybody on the team, what is one thing that you're hoping that Santa brings you a little early this year in fantasy football terms? Obviously, we want that W, but how are we going to get it? Is there a player start situation? Is there somebody you're going up against that you're nervous about? Is there a weather concern? Is there a big-time starter start sit? Is there a flex situation? What are we looking for? Good morning, Matt, Dave, and Bob. Let's get into it. Who are you hoping Santa brings the nice W for this week? Matt, I'll start with you.
My Scott Fishbowl lineup says Josh Jacobs, but my home league says no Josh Jacobs. So what I'm going to do is split the middle. Josh Jacobs for about 80 yards, most of those first downs in Scott Fishbowl, and no touchdowns. That way I can win both ways. I can win Scott Fishbowl, and I can win at home, and the Packers with a W.
So basically Derrick Henry. So 189 total yards, 15 first downs, no tutties. That's what you're hoping.
No, 15 first downs on 80 yards.
Oh, 80 yards. Excuse me. Okay, wait on.
No hundo.
80 yards, 15 first down. I'm just doing quick math. That's all.
Just fall down a whole bunch of times.
Got it. All right. Love that. All right. Looks like we have another guest appearance coming in with us here in just a minute. Davey, I'm going to go to you too. Who are you hoping Santa will help you out with early this year?
Yeah, well, I loaded up on a bunch of Patrick Taylor shares last week before Garendo ended up playing. So hoping to deploy those this week. Not real crazy about the matchup, but hopefully he can come through in a few places. Week 15 was kind of all year I've done pretty well with injuries, but week 15 was kind of tough.
Love that. Trust me, we're all hoping for Patrick Taylor, one of the San Francisco running backs, to do something consistently for us down the stretch here. We've been spoiled, and now we're on running back number 6 for the 49ers. We all forgot about Elijah Mitchell, folks. Don't forget about Elijah Mitchell. Hurt preseason, didn't play. Running back 6 here with Patrick Taylor. We're all looking forward to it. Very excited. Bob, good morning. And we're going to bring in our special guest. Let's do that. We'll call him a special guest. I think it builds his spirit to think of it that way. We'll bring in our special guest here.
He's the only thing special about him is he was late. Okay.
Oh,
you know what? I don't want, no, he's not special. I am not. No, just bring his ass in. Bring his ass in. Jesus Christmas. We're not going to be Baby and Jeff around here. I'm tired of the beat. You know, he was the new guy for a while. And I was like, oh, hey, new guy, let's just be nice. No, not anymore. You're on time or you're out. You're just out. But you know what? We're just going to let you stay because you're relatively still new. So we're going to give you a little bit of break, Jeff. Happy holidays.
Appreciate
How you
it.
doing, sir?
Doing very well. How about y'all?
Well, I mean, until Tyrant Bob showed, I didn't think the Grinch was invited today, but
oh yeah,
someone's got Ebenezer Lamarco.
Ebenezer Lamarco, man, he went from Bobby Two Palms to Ebenezer real quick there. That was
we gotta do the Bill Murray movie Lamarco.
Love it.
All right.
Jeff, good morning. We're going around the horn here. We're wishing for Santa to come a little early with a particular situation here in fantasy. What is that for you today?
For me, it's my Jaguars defense. I hope they give up a lot of points to Alexander Madison. The UTSA guy, Sincere, didn't come through with his injury, unfortunately. So I'm back on the Madison train. So hopefully, 100 yards, touchdown, not asking for too much.
Like you said, 100 yards and a touchdown from Alexander Madison.
All right, yeah.
I love it.
That's cool.
Bob, how about you? I don't know if Santa's coming to your house, but in general, if Santa did come to your house by accident, maybe like the GPS was off a little bit, he ends up at your place for a second. What are you looking for?
Joke's on you guys. I hang out with Santa on the non-Christmas days. He comes over. We hang out on 4th of July. What do you think Santa's doing on the off season? You know what I mean? He's hanging out on the beach with me, chilling, having some margaritas. All right. So me and Santa are way beyond this, just asking for presents, you selfish SOBs. Anyway, yeah, really, to be honest with you, I have an island of – speaking of Christmas movie themes, I have the Island of Misfit toys starting in my lineup. I have Cooper Rush, Kendre Miller, Jalen McMillan, Brenton Strange, Packers D. I got a lot of and I'm playing a juggernaut. I'm playing the 1 seed. And so I honestly just need the streaming matchups to make sense. And I just need all those guys to play well. And hopefully I can pull it off. We'll see.
I like it. I'm going to stick with weather here. The Seattle game, Seattle and Minnesota. There's a lot of players there. DK's been hit or miss, right? JSN's been on fire. Gino's been streamable most of the time, but the Vikings specifically have been on fire. Aaron Jones has come around lately. Obviously, Jefferson and Addison have been playing well. Darnold's been on fire, but there, could be a massive storm up here in the Northwest. And I will say, just living in Central Oregon, I've been in a cloud for about a month here, and Styles knows anybody that's been in the Northwest, like it's hard to find rain like we have up here. So if it's that wet, which it looks like it could be, I'm a bit concerned. So I'm hoping Santa can just sprinkle some dry dust over the game for about 2.5, 3 hours and at least give us a quality football game. The Niners, est the bed a couple nights ago against the Rams, but we didn't expect rain, and it happened, and it diverted the entire game. So I'm hoping that it doesn't happen in Seattle so much because there are so many weapons there and 2 high-quality kickers, Bob, that I would hate to see disappear in the fantasy football playoffs. So keeping an eye on Seattle and weather.
I mean, my issue is I'm looking at the weather report right now. We're 8 hours out, not even from the game. And it's like light rain. They're like, for the kickoff time, it's 0.02. And so for any when I did the research on it, it's 0.1 is when it starts really being impactful for the game. 0.02 shouldn't impact the game. But the 49ers Rams game has me all it's do they even know what the hell they're talking? It seems kind of like they don't even know until the exact moment the game's about to happen. Okay, the rain's come, the wind changed, and all of a sudden it's really heavy rain. It's all right, great. So this doesn't seem like there's a lot to do, but you're up there more. You're closer than most of us. You've lived up there your whole life. How can we even take what they're saying here at all, or is it really up till kickoff?
My man Styles has also spent plenty of time in the Northwest. And here's the deal. Like, we're going to have to monitor this. It is the night game. We got to figure things out. I'm looking at the weather report as well. NFL weather is what I use, is just another source. At kickoff, 96% probability of precipitation. It goes down from there, but 82 in the second quarter, 69 third and fourth quarter. So I expect it to be raining. How much rain that actually is, we'll see. Not too much wind, which is nice. So I expect the running backs to be okay, and I'm sure they'll pass a little bit. But look, man, the Northwest can change in a second, right? The whole cliche up here is, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. And that's usually pretty true. So even if it doesn't start that way, it could. I'm not necessarily saying, we'll go through the morning. I'm not saying we start, bench guys based on that necessarily, like Jefferson, JSN, DK, Addison, whatever. But it's just something to consider, and expectations, I think, need to be monitored a little bit. So we will get through that. We're going to have a 6-box here coming up in just a little bit. Derek is on his way eventually here in the second hour. Again, we have 2 hours for you of the Start Sit show. We got Bob's injury report, of course, coming up at the top of the hour. Stick around for that. Super, super important. The further we get into the fantasy playoffs, that's really, really beneficial. I want to welcome everybody in here. First of all, the panel, gentlemen, let's get into the championships, and all of our viewers tuning in here as well. I mean, you guys jumping in here means that you're in the semifinals as well. Some of you coming off of a fresh bye. Some of you just eked and clawed to get in as a 6 seed. Some of you just did what you needed to do in the first week, and we're going to make it happen. So we got a happy semifinals weekend, y'all. Appreciate that. Jeff, Lindorphins, Gavin, Zion. I do this all the time. Zion, Ben, Marius, Cosmo, Jeffrey, Epic Fail. We got all you guys in. We're going to get to all your questions. Once again, a quick reminder, if you would like to jump the line and get about your business this morning, you're welcome to drop us a super chat. That's any numerical contribution you'd like to make to the show. That gets distributed out to our friends at Good Sports, helping underprivileged youth continue to play sports, which all of us did as a kid, which then, breed this love of football we have 30 plus years later. So if you'd like to contribute to the show and you would like to jump the line for us to get your question right away, 99 cents, $35, whatever you want, you can go ahead and drop that into the chat as well, and we'll get your questions right away. Matt, Dave, Jeff, Bob, let's get rolling. Anybody have any quick thought before we get going? Anything I missed? Anything we got to get going here before we get to Jeff's first comment?
Yeah, I didn't get the memo on the collared shirt today.
It's playoff season, Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, like if
I didn't even notice. Look at you.
You set the tone. If you don't set the tone, if you don't set the tone, you don't, the team doesn't respect you. You know what I mean?
Lead from the front, Sky.
Yeah, you're going to ruin our reputation by being professional.
Thank you. Well, hey, again, someone's got to do it. It was Bob, but now he's in Grumpsville. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's
population May. Yep.
Mm-hmm. He's like the little kid that would probably pick on Cindy Lou Who. And I hate to say that, Bob, but it's
listen,
kind of tough.
Yeah, the movie really portrays her as this sweet, nice girl, but she has a dark side that wasn't portrayed in the movie. And I'm not here to get into all that right now. We're here to talk football. We're talking week 16, but I'm just telling you right now, Cindy Lou Who is more like Cindy Lou Boo Hoo, because honestly, she makes a lot of people cry. That's what I heard. So that's all I'm going to say.
Man, throwing shade at Cindy Lou Who during the holiday season.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's
took us 16 minutes to completely devolve.
By the way, and you guys were calling me the Grinch earlier, but talk about just how a movie portrays somebody. The guy was an outcast. They used to make fun of him, and he ran away from the Whoville, this really nice place who had abusive children, apparently, because this guy got, because he was green. Really? Is this what we're doing? And by the way, a whole sidebar here. Where is the other Grinch population? Is there a whole other group of greenish people? This is what I mean. Why hasn't there ever been a movie or a spin-off where the Grinch finds his people? You know what I mean? He clearly was blown from a different am I wrong here? Am I wrong here?
Pitch here.
Yeah. Bob's looking for that Hollywood break.
Yeah.
Let's
tell the story from the Grinch's side.
Yeah, it's basically
Thank you.
Avatar. It's basically Avatar, but Grinch. Maybe he lives with the Lorax. Who knows? All right, let's get going. Jeff Marks, you're up first. Good morning. Looks like Jeff has 2 questions for us today.
Oh, we're back to football. Cool.
Matt.
Oh yeah, in 5 minutes you'll say something about baseball. Be like, oh,
We
Tony
were-
Johnson swing 394 this season. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
You
hear
brought
it.
it up.
We were back to
R.I.P. Ricky
football,
Henderson,
man.
the greatest
Mhm.
leadoff hitter in the history of baseball,
Yeah.
the greatest base stealer in the history of baseball, passed away yesterday. So rest in
Ricky
peace,
Henderson.
Ricky Henderson.
Correct. Tony Johnson, Bob, I think is the only name I've never heard in baseball. I just want to throw that out there.
Even better. Even better.
All right, reset. Here we go. Pick one, full PPR, BTJ, Khalil Shakir, Ducky Irving. And then we have quarterbacks as well. Jordan Love, Kyler Murray. Matt, kick us off. Looks like Brian Thomas.
That's Brian Thomas Jr.
Shakir
Oh, I was
or
like,
Irving.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got.
Yeah, he just
Bucky
not get-
Irving.
I'm saying that
Quality
looks
of this
like
show
an
is just really plummeted over the last few months.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to slow it back down so we don't end up talking about the Grinch. Brian Thomas Jr. and Bucky Irving.
Okay, so that's one. He needed one guy for the first question and one guy for the second question.
Yeah, well, I tell you, good luck. Flip a coin. Do you want volume? You want volume, or do you want touchdown upside? Brian Thomas takes the top off the defense. Bucky will get more touches.
How about the quarterback?
I don't think Jordan Love's going to throw enough, so give me Kyler Murray.
Kyler
Okay.
also probably a little bit chilly today, but
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going with Irving and Murray as well. I just don't trust the weather in Green Bay. Shakir is probably the least likely to get volume out of the 3. I like Thomas a lot, but I'm going with the running back.
I'm going to go BTJ and Kyler Murray.
Bob?
Yeah, I'm learning my lesson from last week. Brian Thomas is awesome. I'm in on him. It's the Raiders who are going to be just a little banged up. No Max Crosby. I think Aiden O'Connell in that game definitely helps, kind of boost the potential of that game. So I'm going to go BTJ and then Kyler as well.
Is there a possibility that the Raiders and Jags have the highest point total this week?
Yes.
That's going to happen.
I think so too. That's wild. It's
Dude,
going to be a
okay.
horrendous game, but for fantasy, it could be into 30s for each squad
Yeah.
there. So that could
If
be.
you,
Well, I mean-
if you picked up Brenton Strange, you better start Brenton Strange this week.
Oh, I'm gonna get real strange today, baby. I love it. So on a sidebar, like every game is like in like the 20s today. Like every game that's outdoors in the Northeast, there's some games that are gonna be in the teens, like the Jets, Rams, and the Patriots, Bills. Like there's gonna be some cold games today. And then on top of that, you have the Seattle game, which is going to have some rain. So, like, any chance you could have a decent matchup in a dome might be the tiebreakers today.
Yeah.
I'm
Top it off with the Ice Bowl on Monday night.
exactly. I'm not necessarily pro dome all the way around the league, just because I like traditional outdoor football with weather. But it makes sense that the last 3 weeks of the year going into the NFL playoffs, they could just make all these dome games, just put them at the end of the year so that everybody's inside and things are created equal for this. But yes, it's going to be cold around the league. We'll get a weather report as we go along. I'm going to go BTJ as well. Oddly enough, I think the Cowboys are playing with a little bit of pride lately, which is nice. I think Baker's going to throw all over the Cowboys, and Bucky might get part of that, but I'm going to go with BTJ and then Kyler Murray as well. I don't think none of them are going to throw much, but I expect Kyler to at least run.
I'd like, if Jeff's still hanging around, Jeff Marks is still hanging around, I'd like to know what receivers he's starting right now over Brian Thomas Jr.
Fair enough. All right, Jeff, thank you, and best of luck.
That's 3 for Brian Thomas, 2 for Bucky, and a sweep for Kyler.
Nice. That's a 5-bar right off the bat for Kyler. Lindorphins, welcome back. Happy Sunday. Need to pick one running back, one flex from these options in half PPR. Thank you for the setting, my man. Walker, assuming Sharps is active. So both running backs in Seattle active versus Minnesota. Patrick Taylor at Miami. Kendra Miller at Packers. Judy at Cincinnati. And McMillan at Dallas. Thank you for setting up the matchups for us as well. That's a professional lead in there, Lindorphins. Well done. Styles, we'll pick you. One running back, one flex, half PPR.
I'm leaning Kenneth Walker, and I want McMillan.
Okay. I'm going to go with Walker as well. Just out of the three running backs, I like him the most. For a flex, I think I'm going to go with Judy in Cincinnati in what should be a juicy matchup. It might be cold, but it should be healthy. The only thing that slows me down there is that DTR is the quarterback now instead of Jameis.
Well, I hope you're right, Dave. I need Cincinnati's D to get just absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Kenneth Walker as well. Even if Sharps is active, they typically just use one running back, and Charbonnet will probably just be spelling him. So I'm going to go with Walker with the weather as well in that matchup. I'll get a lot of usage there. And then for receiver, I'm going to go McMillan. Just the Cowboys have given up a lot of points in the secondary. So if Baker is going to be slinging it around, I think McMillan gets involved.
Just a fun anecdote. Today, the Seattle Seahawks are making Zach Charbonnet their team captain. Not sure what the hell that is about. And honestly, I have no idea what's going on with that Walker run game. And Charbonnet looked better the last few weeks. I'm really concerned about Walker today. I guess my question for you guys, what's your thoughts about Patrick Taylor?
He's a 6th string running back. This goes back. I don't want to go too far into this again, but we did the handcuff episode a month ago, which we always should and we will heading into the fantasy playoffs. I brought up Patrick Taylor on accident because I said before Jordan Mason went down that Isaac Guerrero might not even be the starter because of the Niners running back. We see this every single year. Patrick Taylor's fine, and he is getting the start, which is great. We love that. They'll probably smash up on Miami on the ground, so he's not a terrible start. But he's a 6th-string running back for a reason.
And mind you, Green Bay didn't need him. Right? Green Bay, a team that wants to run, they didn't know what they were going to get in Josh Jacobs. They didn't need Patrick Taylor. So that should tell you something.
All right. Yeah, I would say the easiest way to do it. I mean, Walker seems like the right answer here, but I don't know, man. The Minnesota Vikings matchup, I don't know. That's not overly exciting for that one. And I am a little concerned that there might be a split between him and Sharp today. I'm just gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna go with Kendra Miller and McMillan.
Wild, Bob. I'm with you. I thought I'd be a Lone Ranger on Kendra Miller, but I'm doing that. I don't expect the Saints to move the ball much, to be honest, in Green Bay. Certainly not through the air, but I do think he's just going to get all the touches with Kamara out. So I'm going to go Kendra Miller there as well. And McMillan pretty easily over Judy and the rest of these guys. You could go Walker and Kendra Miller. I don't hate that. But with Sharps active as well, if it happens, then I'm not into that. Well, obviously he's the team captain, whatever. But McMillan, for me, I think Baker's going to go nuts against Dallas today. I'm going to go 4 tutties for Baker today, at least one in 120 maybe for Mike Evans. But then they're going to shade coverage that way because they know what's coming. And I think McMillan's going to have a field day. My streamer of the week at wide receiver.
Love it. Don't. You're just talking dirty to me right now. I love every second of that. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Look at Baker. Look at Baker pointing at Sky.
Yes, Baker knows. Here, I'll meet him. I'll meet him in the middle there. Can I even do that?
So there we go. We've got 3-2 for Walker and McMillan is the flex.
Love it. I can see in the chat ahead of time we're going to get lots of McMillan and lots of Patrick Taylors. So as you guys viewers, as you're listening to us answer other people's questions, a lot of times we have similar answers based on some things. So keep an eye out and an ear out for those. Gavin Smith, good morning. I'm considering sitting Tyreek. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Benching your studs is the automatic, but they don't always come through. Let's be logical here. Considering sitting Tyreek Hill, who basically said he wants to go into coaching like last week. He's already said he wanted to retire for 2 years, playing against the 49ers. Sitting Tyreek Hill for McMillan or Patrick Taylor. Dumb question mark? First of all, Gavin, you're not dumb. Secondly, this is one of those major ones, man. Some of our studs are not going to go off today, so you got to look at alternate options sometimes. It is not automatic. Do we sit Tyreek for either McMillan or Patrick Taylor? Matt?
Before we get into all that, you gotta remember. No,
Matt,
it's just before we get. It's really important that Jalen Waddle's out today. Like, it's going to be really tough to sit Tyreek Hill with Waddle out. And honestly, this 49ers aren't. We just saw what Puka did to them in a dumpster fire game. That Tyreek is not. Patrick Taylor is like, I'd rather play Patrick Taylor than a guy in a really bad matchup who's been like a wide receiver 3. I don't know if that's Tyreek Hill. Back to you, Matt.
Matt, go ahead. You can go now.
I believe I answered this.
Actually, hold up a second. Dave, question. How are you doing today? You doing all right? Everything good? All right, cool. Just kidding, Matt. Go ahead. There's children watching. There's children watching, okay?
What Matt's saying is he's number one.
Well, if there's children watching, they become adults when they watch this show. There's no doubt about it. I think I answered this in one of my articles. I said, you're not dumb. You're not crazy, I think is what he asked. Am I crazy? No, you're not crazy for thinking about starting McMillan, but I would not do it. I love McMillan. I love his matchup. I love that the Dallas D is embarrassed and they're dinged up again. Not to pile on, but I think Trayvon Diggs just scored the lowest on the NFL IQ test with a 54. Go ahead and Google that. That's insanely low in an IQ test. Maybe that didn't happen, but maybe it did. I'm not here. I'm not fake news guy. But I am not sitting Tyreek for Jalen McMillan. I would sit Tyreek for Brian Thomas Jr. I would sit Tyreek for possibly DJ Moore or AJ Brown, but I'm not sitting Tyreek for Jalen McMillan.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Gavin, you're not dumb because you're here. So
tell him, Dave.
Let's help him out. I pretty much agree with Matt and Bobby here. I'm not sitting Tyreek for McMillan or Patrick Taylor. Just don't trust McMillan enough to be that guy that will, out yardage Tyreek, and he might out touchdown him, but and Patrick Taylor, I just am not crazy about the matchup against Miami for the 49ers with pretty much everybody on the shelf. So I'm still going with Tyreek in this situation.
Yeah, Gavin, not dumb. Love the creativity. Sometimes you got to think outside the box to win, but in this case, I think you got to keep going with Tyreek. And then fun fact for everybody, Tony Johnson was drafted in 1977, played 2 seasons in the MLB. So more you know.
For who?
The Montreal Expos.
Oh,
he had 3 home runs and 3 bags for his career, -1 WAR though, unfortunately. But shout out Tony Johnson. Come on the show anytime.
Attaboy. Big fan of the show, Tony Johnson. Expos shout out, Jeff. Nice find.
Les Expos du Montreal.
Please never do French again, Matt.
Nice, dude. I like it. Good work. Bob, to you.
I mean, honestly, I'm just a little disappointed you guys don't know baseball. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what are we even talking about here? All this shit you talk all year, and you're like, baseball this, swinging bats that, and you don't even know Tony Jones? I mean, like, what are we doing here? Tony Johnson, exactly. What are we even talking about? God, I'm embarrassed for all of you. Anyway, I already gave my answer. It's Tyreek. I love Jalen McMillan. Sky even called him out as a streamer wide receiver of the week. That's all I needed to hear. But Tyreek is going to – without Waddle, I cannot sit Tyreek.
Yeah, I'm going to lead that way too. I've actually been kind of looking around Tyreek in the league all season long. I've been looking to fire somebody up other than him, and Jalen McMillan I think is a great option. But I'm with Bob. I'm going to stick with Tyreek in this particular matchup. The Niners are in bad news, and Matt and I know, you got to have good clubhouse guys, especially when your team is struggling. And George Kittle can't keep everybody happy. So Niners are hurting right now. I'm going to take Tyreek, and really nervous that the Dolphins are just going to beat them outright, which would be a bummer. So we'll go Tyreek Hill. Is that a sweep there, Dave?
That is a 5.
Nice. That's good. I like it.
All right. Zion. Good morning. Pick one in PPR. Garrett Wilson, Juwan Jennings. Also pick one in PPR. Kenneth Walker or Dowdle. Rico Dowdle. So let's pick a wide receiver and pick a running back. Garrett Wilson, Juwan Jennings, and then KW3, Kenneth Walker or Dowdle. Maddie?
Give me Garrett Wilson and give me Rico Suave.
Yeah, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson as well. I just like the matchup against the Rams in spite of the weather over Jennings' matchup against the Dolphins. Dolphins secondary is pretty tough. And we've got Marius in the chat saying that Charbonnet was named the starter. So that's what's up there. So I don't think I really needed much of a reason to go with Dowdle in this situation, but I just got one.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Garrett Wilson. I just think he's just going to see a lot of targets still over Jennings. Kenneth Walker and Dowdle's really interesting. Tampa Bay's actually given up the fewest points to running backs over the past month. So that gives me concern for Dowdle, but he is the workhorse there. With Kenneth Walker potentially sharing touches, and I just don't know now. This news of him being the starter, Charbonnet. I think I'm gonna lead Dowdle in this one as well.
Let's see, Jets, Jennings. I feel like I'm like the biggest Juwan Jennings supporter ever. But yeah, give me Jennings. I'm good with that. And then I'm gonna go. Man, the tough part about Dowdle is that like the way you beat Tampa is through the air. They are tough against the ground, and Dowdle does not get targets at all. He'll get you like 20 carries for 140 yards, and then you'll have 0 receptions and no touchdowns. But I kind of want to, if I can pivot from Kenneth Walker, because I'm not entirely sure what the hell that's going to be, that backfield split plus the rain, who knows. I'm going to go Dowdle as well.
It's going to be cold in New Jersey, but it's going to be dry, nice and sunny. So I'm not concerned about the weather. I'm not concerned about cold games in the NFL. It's the precipitation. So cold in New Jersey, 23 degrees. Bob, you missed that? Living in Southern California now, you miss a 23-degree day? Probably.
Yeah, all the time.
I bet. Devontae is clearly absolutely on fire right now for the Jets, but Garrett Wilson also getting 10 targets in 2 of the last 3 games. Over 100 yards. He scored last week. I think he's still going to make it happen with Rodgers there, who looks better too. So I'll go Garrett Wilson in that matchup, and I'm going to go Dowdle, actually. I'm just not a big Kenneth Walker guy. I mean, I get it. He's a good player in general, but Sharps is also awesome too. And the Minnesota Vikings, look, we keep talking about the weather and him starting whatever. The Vikings are incredible against the run. You can throw all over them, but they're great against the run. So I don't love that either. I'm going to go with Dowdle.
Okay, so that's 4-1 Garrett Wilson and a sweep for Dowdle. There we go.
Ben.
You ready to jump into the next one, Sky?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, this one ought to be fun. I am not putting my playoff hopes on the left arm of a rookie quarterback making his first start. With that being said, I think he's going to throw 24-plus times. I think they're going to take the training wheels off. With the first play will be a pass. It'll be play action. Under center, play action over the middle to Kyle Pitts for 12. But I am going with Aaron Rodgers in this game.
Nice. Matt, really quick before we move on to Dave, if he was right-handed, would that change anything for you? Okay. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rodgers as well. I'm just not. It's playoff time.
Playoffs?
Playoffs. So I'm not gonna trust a guy making his first start over a veteran in a plus matchup, even though it's in the cold.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rodgers as well. It's a great matchup, and as mentioned earlier, I can't really trust a rookie right now this late in the season in his first start.
Yeah, same. Rodgers.
Giants are allowing the second highest passer rating to quarterbacks. I think Michael Penix gets the W today, but I got to go Rodgers as well. We just talked about Devontae and Garrett Wilson. They're both on fire right now. I think the Jets are going to play well. I think they could actually upset the Rams if that's maybe an upset. But I do think Michael Penix gets the dub, but not in fantasy. Also, shouts out to 2 Pac-10 players there. Cal Bears and Huskies, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
We got a sweep for Rodgers, so
A sweep. All right, well, then it's one of these.
it's the fiver.
Nice.
Marius, good morning. Kendre Miller, Amir Abdullah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking fantasy football semifinals, folks. Kendre Miller, who was benched for literally no reason for about 2 months, and Amir Abdullah, who was a great kick returner for the Vikings about 12 years ago. Matt, go to you.
I don't like either one. I'm going to take the volume with Kendre Miller.
Yeah, Abdullah's okay. I like him in leagues that have return yards more than other leagues, but I'm gonna go with Kendre Miller as well in a game that's going to be just frigid and a game where they're likely to run as much as they can.
Ugh. My gut is telling me Amir Abdullah, but I just don't like Kendre Miller's situation. Just the Saints just are going to be a mess on the road in a cold game on Monday night. I'm also streaming the Packers defense, so I have a little bit of bias there. So I could see Amir Abdullah actually, getting a cheap touchdown in this Jags game. So with that, I'm actually going to lean Amir Abdullah.
Jeff
Coach
just gave us his Christmas wish.
Yeah, there we go. Coach Speak Index came out and they talked about some of the comments from the head coach. And he basically said that it's going to be a committee. And they're going to play Jordan Mims, Jamal Williams, and Kendre Miller. Now, I that does worry me a little bit that Kendre Miller is probably not going to get a crazy workload. But they also rotated these guys in with Alvin Kamara. Like Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller were playing a little bit with Kamara, but Kamara was still the main guy. So I do think Miller is going to be the main guy. If I would say Amir Abdullah is the 1B to Alexander Madison, and the Raiders are home against the Jags. Honestly, I don't expect the Jags to go off in this game. Amir Abdullah is the passing game back. So I just think from process elimination, I'm just going to go Kendre Miller. I think he's a special player. I think he's really good. So I'm going to go Kendre.
I agree. I like Kendre Miller here as well. But Marius did chime in, guys, if it changes anybody's thought here later, that he does get return yards. Matt, Dave, I'll throw to you guys for like Scott Fishbowl. We had the just unnecessarily massive game for Deebo Samuel when he wasn't good for regular fantasy, but he scored like 40 fantasy points because he was the kick returner the other day.
That's
in
right.
Kick return leagues, it matters. I'm just going to throw it back to you guys real quick, and then we'll enter in the boss here in just 1 second. Repping once again the Qs, the orange, right? Is it the orange? Yeah, cool. Chalk us up. Matt, Dave, kick returns. Does that sway? As a running back, we're going Kendre Miller. Fine, it's a sweep. You got to go league settings. Does that matter for Amir Abdullah that much?
It does if you know he's the primary kick return guy. But if you notice a couple of weeks ago in Scott Fishbowl, when Cavante Turpin was the number 2 wide receiver in the league for setup behind only Jamar Chase, they played a team. I cannot recall what team it was. It was 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And that team signed a kicker off the street that could kick the ball out of the end zone on kickoffs. They did not give Turpin an opportunity to return the football. So if Abdullah is dangerous enough where their opponent thinks that they are not going to, or that they could damage them through the kick game, they'll just kick it out of the end zone and give it to them at the 30. So, yes, league settings do matter, but I'm going to take volume at this point still.
Dave, your thoughts?
Yeah, we talk about Scott Fishbowl and the fact that Debo went off for 40 points. If it's a league where they give you a point for every 5 return yards, fine. I might pivot to Abdullah, but if it's like most of the leagues I'm in where return yards are like a point for 20, then it's probably not going to be enough to make up the difference to me.
Got it. All right, without any further ado, folks.
Wait.
Sorry.
Last week,
Just 1 second,
Avery.
Derek.
Last
Derek,
week,
1
I mean,
second.
Amir Abdullah didn't return kicks last week, so I don't know if he's actually going to return kicks. Like, he has returned kicks this year, but last week they pivoted to a different guy. Maybe it was because Abdullah had a bigger role on offense. I don't know.
Yeah,
so I don't think it's as guaranteed that he's going to return kicks this week.
I think they've been using Dylan Loeb for the kickoff returns, and they've been using Abdullah for punts.
Yeah, Avery Williams last week returned both punts and kicks. I'm just this is what I found on Pro Football Reference. I'm just trying because I was curious. I was like, how much has he been? It has in the past. Amir Abdullah the prior week was returning kicks and punts, and then last week he didn't. So I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know why they pivoted away from him. I don't know what the deal is there.
It's not a regular role, right? For week 1, Jaden Darden was like the main returner for the Browns, and by Tuesday he was cut. So,
Yeah.
Man,
All right, we can move on.
What a fun draft pick that was for about 3 weeks. I love that in Dynasty. All right, let's pause for a second. Cosmo, just 1 second. Again, shouts out to your pup always. Derek, good morning. Happy holidays. How are you?
Morning, gentlemen. Yeah, sorry I'm late. Had some dad duties to take care of this morning, but I hear the call from the fans, and I'm here for the 6 box.
Love it.
Right when we lost Matt, so now it's back to 5. right on cue.
We were headed for this, and we just went right back to the. So we'll make it happen. But epic fail, we will not let you down. Styles will be back in just a second. Derek, good morning. I'm going to chop the line here. Give Matt just 1 second. We did go around the horn earlier, and I was asking what you're hoping Santa will bring you a few days early this year in fantasy football terms. Is there one thing specifically you're hoping Santa will slip under the tree here for you on a beautiful Sunday?
Yeah, I'm sure Matt mentioned already the team that we share in our home league. We're facing our arch nemesis, and he's the 1 seed. We are the 5 seed. Who moved on. So, yeah, we need a little bit of help today. We've, in fact, if he hasn't done it, I'll put the question in the chat later. You guys can help us. We need 2 wide receivers to fill 3 spots, and We've got 3 good choices. So, once we get to a lull, we'll bring that up, and hopefully we need to make the right choice. Just put it that way, because this is our perennial adversary. We whether it's baseball or football, we tend to run up against this fine gentleman, and he usually gets the better of us. So
nice, awesome. We already talked about baseball. It actually went all the way to the Expos, Derek.
Oh, nice.
But that's our strike 1 on baseball. So let's be careful. I don't want to end the show too early. So
that was just a foul. That was a foul ball.
Yeah. Just keep that down a little bit if you wouldn't mind. Just like a little tip off the side. All right, let's get into it. Cosmo, let's get your question back here, buddy. Mainly because I enjoy checking out. I assume that's a golden retriever, by the way. I think we've been over this. But let's get Cosmo's question back up here. All right, good morning. Half PPR, need 1 wide receiver and a flex. Tyreek Hill, JSN, Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller. Thanks, and you're welcome. Matty Styles, right back in the hot box. Let's get it in.
Yeah, drank a little bit extra water. Was feeling a little under the weather last night, so I'm fluiding up. Let's just say that it's leaving just about as fast as it enters. So
stay hydrated.
Half point PPR, Tyreek and Jerome Ford.
Yeah, with the half point, I'm probably leaning the running back more over JSN. I'm going to go with Matt, Tyreek, and Jerome Ford.
I'm going to pivot here. I'm going to go Hill and JSN. I know the weather concerns, but in Seattle, but the Vikings give up the most points to receivers, so that matchup is too good to ignore. And with Ford, I know he's only healthy back, but with the quarterback change, the quarterback can run the ball as well out of the backfield. So I wonder if he's going to steal, carries from Ford in that matchup. So I'm going to lean Hill and JSN.
Yeah, to me, it's going to be Hill and Ford. As hot as JSN has been, I just don't like that situation up there. The weather was mentioned. It's supposed to be raining all day, and Gino's been limping around. I know he's off the injury report, but the pass. If Minnesota can get a pass rush on him, he hasn't been great at all, and I'm a little worried about that offense up there for a lot of factors. So I'm going to pivot off of JSN, and I'll go with Tyreek and Jerome Ford.
I'm going to go Hill and JSN for me.
Hill and JSN as well. Bengals horrible against the pass also, but decent against the run. So I'm going to go with that. And Jerome Ford, I just don't think is that explosive. He obviously broke away. And now Nick Chubb. Man, can we pour one out once again for Nick Chubb? What the heck? Him and J.K. Dobbins, dude, two of my favorite just pure running backs in the NFL since they came in, and neither one of them have a chance to stay healthy. It's really sad. But Hill and JSN for me as well. Good luck, Cosmo.
And this is a PPR question, Sky.
So we have a sweep. We have a sweep for Hill and a split for JSN and Ford.
So we're up to this, Matt. You dipped away just in time, but we've moved on from the face guard to the triple. I call it the triple fork, or maybe the double fork. Are you going this? You go with the threes up? Hey, Steph Curry made a basket.
Maybe we just call it fork to everybody.
Nice, Dave. We can go this, maybe a little Mardi Gras. I don't know. We'll figure something out. All right, Jeffrey, good morning. Go Patriots. Would you start JT, Jonathan Taylor, Shakir, or Brian Thomas Jr.? So that's a solid top tier question there at flex. So you got JT and BTJ and Shakir as your flex positions. Your team's probably looking nice. You got Saquon, Chase Brown, Nico Higgins, and Cup already starting. Who would y'all play? Thanks, Jeffrey. This is a solid squad, buddy. Good job.
This is a PPR. He mentioned it a couple questions down, a couple comments down. Shakir is not going to get the volume today in that matchup, I assume. JT does not participate in the passing game, and the Titans defense is not atrocious. Give me Brian Thomas Jr., and for me, I don't even think twice about this.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to Taylor and Brian Thomas, and I'm just a running back guy, so I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor versus Tennessee over Brian Thomas in what is admittedly a good matchup against the beat-up Raiders secondary.
They rated.
Yeah, I'm going to go BTJ. He's just too good for Jacksonville, and I'm a homer, so it sucks to say that. With this question, but it's a legitimate good question, though. I think JT does have a good matchup. Tennessee, they can run the ball against them, but I think BTJ is too special of a talent, and the offense is going to go through him on this one.
Well, the first thing I'm doing is putting BT Jr. In for Cup. I'm not starting Cup today versus on the road, cross country versus the Jets in what's going to be a 25-degree game. I'm going to take Cup out and put BTJ in there for starters. And then for the flex, I'm going to go with Shakir against New England. 7+ targets in every game since week 7. Yeah, this is a PPR, so I'll take those 7 points on top of anything else he does. So I will go BTJ in for Cup and then start Shakir in the flex.
Second that one. Love that, Derek.
Man, JT hasn't played Tennessee in like 3 years healthy. It's just freaking crazy. I was just curious to see how he's looked against them, but it doesn't really matter. Different coaching staff. I actually agree with Derek. I know the Jets are a slot funnel defense, so that could be a bold sit. But I do think that Brian Thomas and JT, I kind of feel better about those games. JT in the dome, by the way, huge fumble instead of a touchdown last week. I think he's going to be pissed off. And, instead of scoring a touchdown, that's a huge play. And I think he's going to want to get in the end zone this week. So, and then the Titans really are I know they were good early on in the season, but overall you can beat them. So I'm going to go JT and Brian Thomas over Cup as well.
Man,
I saw a statistic: 72% of rosters that started Jonathan Taylor last week lost because of the fumble. 72%.
So just for
That's tough beat.
just for the record, because that was like a 40-yard run, so he gets the 4 points, right?
Yeah, but he loses 2 of them on the fumble.
And doesn't get the
then the
touchdown.
6.
So it was a 2-point, 40-yard touchdown run.
Right.
8-point swing.
It could have been a 10-point play.
Hideous. I heard on the radio just throughout the week, I forget who it was, somebody had mentioned something like, you think of those guys, the type of dudes that like drop a ball at the thing, just kind of like an arrogance, cockiness. It's just kind of weird. Like just finish the play, get the score. You think of them differently, and you would never think of Jonathan Taylor as one of those guys, quote unquote. And now like you have to, because he did it. It's just like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm with you guys, man. I'm a top 3 Cooper Kupp fan forever. Gave us the goose, of course. We don't love that against the Niners, but I'm with Derek. I think that's a good call there, swapping out the roster. So I'll go BTJ. Not only 7 targets, but 10, 12, and 14 over the last 3 weeks. And Brian Thomas ripped up the Jets last week with 2 touchdowns. So he's been on fire. I can't go away from that. So I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. And I guess we'll go back to the well with Jonathan Taylor as well, just with the volume. But let's hope he holds on to the ball.
So most of us have changed the guy's roster and his lineup, and of the ones that actually voted, it was 3 for Taylor, 1 for Shakir, 2 for Thomas. But overwhelmingly Thomas in the lineup.
Got it. Good luck, Jeffrey. All right, can we get it up now that Matt's back? Do whatever you want to do. The 6 box is up to you. You do whatever you want. I like Jeff. Jeff went with like a soccer. Was it a soccer goal right there? Oh, 3's up. I got you. 3's up. Cool.
Yeah.
A soccer goal.
No, I couldn't see his
What's a
hands.
soccer goal? What's a soccer goal look like? Oh, what does that even mean? Is it like a symbol for a goal in soccer?
Yeah.
Or is it like this? Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Anyway, I also noticed that the Splash Brothers are. I noticed Steph Curry made a couple 3s lately, which has not happened the last month. But we don't talk about basketball. All right, epic fail, Superflex, Tua versus the Niners. Rich, epic fail. You're long time. Big fan of the show. We love you. We're a fan of yours. Epic fail. I'm going to leave this to Matt, but I don't think Anthony Richardson has developed enough in fantasy to deserve Rich. I feel like Rich, especially with Rich being the second part of that, he's just not quite a nickname guy yet. But I'll give it to you this time. But just let's be careful with those.
Poor,
average, something like that would be fine. Hit or miss, whatever. But Tua versus the Niners, Anthony Richardson versus the Tennessee Titans, Michael Penix versus the Giants. Maddie, who you got?
Remember, his nickname is Timu
Justin
Fields.
Right.
I'm going to go Tua for a bounce back game against the really beat up San Francisco 49ers. And it's going to be Achane and Tyreek and Johnny Smith are going to absolutely slaughter today.
Thanks. Great news.
Yeah, it's pretty much Tua or Penix for me. As tempting as it is to go Penix at home in his first start against the Giants, I'm going to go with Matt and Tua in San Francisco versus the 49ers in Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tua in this one. Tua just plays better at home. He averages 3 more points, and I just like the matchup at home. So I'm going to go with Tua.
I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go with Richardson. Yeah, so in the last 4 games, he's had about 9 rushing attempts per, getting 50 or more in just about each of those, and a couple touchdowns. And the Titans offer quarterbacks the 10th most rushing yards per average at over 5 yards per carry for quarterbacks rushing. So I'm going to take the dome situation with Rich in spoiler rushing touchdown, maybe a passing touchdown as well. I'll go with Richardson.
Tua and 6-point passing touchdown, and A-Rich and 4 for me.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. Superflex, I'm going to imagine it's a 6-pointer. Tua did have a dud last week, 196 yards, 3 picks, and just 1 touchdown against Houston in a dome, which is weird. But before that, he was QB 5-7-3 over the last 3 games against some decent teams, the Jets and the Packers among them. One of those was in Green Bay. So, yeah, Niners are hurting. Hufunga's nice over the middle, but secondary's beat up, and I think the Niners maybe win the game because of Shanahan and Mike McDaniels, but I'll take Tua in a nice fantasy performance.
So it's 5-1 Tua, but I like Derek's argument.
Me too. Bill Dino, good morning. Welcome back. Since I'm in the loser bowl, I thought I'd help my son. Snell season. Oh boy.
That's baseball.
I know,
Baseball.
but I know. My question is though, if Bill brings it up, this seems like a freebie. This seems like just an 84 mile an hour right down the middle. You just kind of cock back, hands back, weight back, boom, drive through the ball right there. If Bill brings it up, I think we're good. PPR pick 1, Pollard, Keenan, Allen, Patrick Taylor. Bill, you're winning the loser bowl. You're a winner in our eyes, buddy. Matt?
That I'll accept.
Love it.
Pollard.
Yeah,
But watch the ankle injury. If you're afraid of the ankle injury, go Patrick Taylor.
He's definitely starting, just to be clear as we go on here. Yeah, okay.
He is starting.
Yeah. So for me, Pollard against Indianapolis is a smash play. The Colts are decent against the pass. They are pretty terrible against the run. I like Allen as a home run play if you need a higher ceiling, but I'm going to take Pollard here on the face of it.
I'm going to go Keenan Allen. When he played Detroit last, he had 2 touchdowns and 73 yards receiving. He had 13 targets last week at Minnesota and a touchdown, so I think he keeps it going.
Yeah, I'm going to go Keenan Allen as well. I don't love that situation up there, but Detroit, that defense in Detroit is really struggling, and Keenan Allen's kind of picked it up. I like him over the middle, getting some balls over the middle, short passes over the middle. So I'll take that in a PPR. I'll give me Keenan Allen.
I'm going to go Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard as well.
Okay, so Pollard rallies at the end and wins 4-2.
Nice,
All right,
Tony.
we're top of the hour. What time does Bob want to do his injury report?
After this question.
There you
Epic
go.
fail. Welcome back. Pick 3, PPR Walker or Drake London. Jacoby Myers, Devontae Smith. Pick 3. So basically sit one of these guys in PPR.
Oh boy! You know what? Sit the running back. Give me the 3 wide receivers and hope Penix chucks the ball 24 plus times. If you're not sold on Penix, then sit London.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna sit Devontae Smith. Just the production is kind of inconsistent with him. I'm not crazy about Walker, but I'm going to start him over Smith. I still think he's going to get a decent amount of work.
I'm going to go with Styles in this one. 3 receivers, but if you don't like Phoenix with London, then go Walker.
My first inclination is to sit Walker, but with the weather up there, I think this might be more of a running back game. So I'm going to take my chances and play him. I'm probably going to sit Devonta Smith in this one. I don't know who said it, but someone said that he's just been very inconsistent, and I agree. Last time they played Washington a handful of weeks back, he had 4 catches for 29 yards, and although I think he'll be between that and what he was last week at 109, so it'll be somewhere in the middle. But to me, that's just inconsistent for semifinal weekend. So I like the other matchups a little better.
Jeez. Honestly, the only guy I really like is Myers, believe it or not. Yeah, I guess I'd be okay with the sitting of Devonta Smith, but yeah, I guess sit Devonta Smith. That's fine.
Sit Devontae Smith for me as well. He had a dud against Washington earlier in the season in Philadelphia, but he also got hurt in that game and then missed 3 weeks. Without the tight end there, Dallas Goedert, he's going to get more work. Obviously, we saw that last week, but I don't see it being very consistent. So I'm going to sit Devonta Smith there as well. Washington has really buckled down in the secondary. They're top 5 secondary in the last month. So I'm gonna move off of Devonta Smith. I like Jacoby Myers quite a bit as well.
Yeah. Yep. So London and Myers were sweeps, and Devontae Smith was the sit. So you've got Walker, London, and Myers from the panel.
All right, epic fail. Best of luck, buddy. Okay, let's take a commercial break here. Bob, are you ready to go?
Always.
Of course you are. The rest of us are going to pop off for about 5 minutes or so. We do have 3 games already handled, so this might be a little bit quicker than usual. But the rest of us are going to take a quick coffee break. We'll be back in about 5 to 8 minutes. Make sure you stay tuned here to the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. Bob, the floor is yours with the injury report. We'll be back in a few.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah, if you guys are new to the show or you haven't seen this before, we break down the key injuries, not just your wide receivers, quarterbacks, skill position guys, but we also break down key injuries on the offensive line and defense that can really impact your start-sit questions for Week 16. So let's kind of dive right into it. Starting at the top, the Giants' defense is completely decimated with some injuries, especially in their front 7. They are going to be down Tyler Nubin, their starting safety as well, but their front 7 is really the Bijan Robinson might break the slate kind of narrative is actually accurate, especially at home versus a very banged up Giants defense. And the Falcons are pretty much clean on the injury report. No real notable injuries over the last month or so. So obviously you got to love that from a Bijan Robinson standpoint. Lions at Bears. Now the big key is the Lions injuries are just piling up once again. Really some big time names. Obviously, David Montgomery, we all know about that. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be, of course, the guy. And when David Montgomery missed time, Craig Reynolds did get about 7 carries a game. And the Bears are a very favorable matchup, but it was really all Jahmyr Gibbs in that scenario. They will be down the Lions a starting offensive guard in this game, but to balance that out, the defensive tackle for the Bears is out. So I'm not overly concerned. Let's cancel those out. On the other side of the football, though, the Lions defense is going to have some really big names. Of course, we all know about Aiden Hutchinson, of course, but more recently, McNeil, their stud defensive tackle, Alex Anzalone, their star middle linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez, their second linebacker, and of course, Charlton Davis, their premier outside cornerback, is out today. But they're playing in Chicago on the road. That's always notable. Jared Goff typically doesn't play as well on the road, especially outdoors. So I do think that kind of caps the upside overall. But I do think DJ Moore, especially out of all these injuries, gets a bump, and DeAndre Swift and a tough Detroit Lions run defense. Cardinals at Panthers. Of course, we know about all the injuries to the Carolina backfield. It should be another Chuba Hubbard week. I know it was hugely disappointing, massively, very disappointing last week, but I do believe that Chuba Hubbard bounces back against the Cardinals this week. On the defensive side of the ball for the Panthers, they are going to be down Tevin Wallace, one of their better middle linebackers, and also Jordan Fuller, their starting safety. So there is some notable injuries there. I know a lot of narrative about Trey McBride getting in the end zone, so maybe a Trey McBride anytime touchdown this week could be good, especially with some of those injuries to that Panthers defense as well. On the offensive side for the Panthers too, Xavier Legette is out today. Not overly concerned. I do think Adam Thielen is a nice PPR play today, as the Cardinals are a slot funnel defense anyway, and of course with Xavier Legette out. Trey Benson is out today. That just should mean if you ring the bell, that's bell cow James Conner. Honestly, God bless us all. If you have James Conner, have a good time. He's going to be awesome today. They are going to be down their left tackle, Paris Johnson, which is notable. On the other side, good news for Chuba Hubbard is Mac Wilson, one of these better linebackers for the Cardinals, is out today, so that should benefit his matchup there as well. Rams at Jets. The biggest one is Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle. That is like the Jets' star defensive tackle. He is out today. Big news for Kyren Williams. I think that's, obviously he's going to be in one of the top 3 plays behind Bijan and Gibbs in this matchup. So that is huge news, especially for the Rams traveling across country in this game in a very cold weather. Should be around 20 degrees at MetLife today. Just a couple other injuries that are notable. I know earlier we talked about Cooper Kupp playing this week, but some check marks for him. Jalen Mills and Michael Carter, two of the guys that kind of play the middle of the field on the secondary for the Jets, is going to be out today. DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are officially back in. They have not played together in the same game for almost a month now. So having Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed back together healthy is key, but I do think that benefits Cooper Kupp as both those premier perimeter cornerbacks are going to be back this week. Eagles at Commanders. Dallas, actually, you know what? Before I go on here, don't get me wrong, I love feeding ducks, but having music playing in my ear right now is not ideal. Anyway, Eagles at Commanders. Of course, no Dallas Goedert. Graham, Grant, and Tara, Sky brought up a really good point earlier about how the last time these two teams played, Devonta Smith left the game early. Dallas Goedert had a monster game against them. So maybe it was because of the Devonta Smith injury, but Graham, Grant, and Tara should be able to get some production against that Commanders defense. Average matchup overall, but Dallas Goedert had a monster game against them a couple weeks back. On the other side, listen, the offensive line for the Commanders is actually healthy for the first time this season. All 5 starters will be in the game. That is great news against a really tough Philly defense. Obviously, we're not overly excited. I think Terry McLaurin is a very risky start this week against that tough Philly defense. Brian Robinson, though, obviously going to have another tough matchup too, but at the same time, that offensive line being healthy should really help that Commanders running game against that really tough Eagles front. Browns at Bengals. This one is where things get a little long, but obviously I think the biggest one here is David Njoku is officially in today. He's got one of the best matchups on the slate. So if you have David Njoku, I know DTR is starting today. I think DTR and Njoku is probably the only guy I really trust of the Browns starters. Mostly because of position scarcity plus the matchup, but DTR has shown a little bit of chemistry with David Njoku in the past. Nick Chubb, of course, out. Cedric Tillman out, but like I said before, I'm not overly interested. So some notable injuries to the Browns front. Of course, we know about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, stud middle linebacker, but they're also going to be down one of their key defensive tackles, Shelby Harris. So Chase Brown, you don't need me to tell him to start him. He's just smashed. On the flip side of the ball, some key injuries to the Bengals, obviously at every level. We've talked about this for a while, but Sheldon Rankins, along with Sam Hubbard, is out today. Of course, Logan Wilson and DJ Turner, linebacker and safety. We kind of already known these injuries. Hubbard's the only real new one. Sheldon Rankins has been out for a few weeks too. Obviously, that should help if you have to start Jerome Ford. That is the one carrot that you do have here, that the Bengals are struggling to stop the run overall, and they do have some injuries to the defensive line. But to be honest with you, I'm not overly excited to start Jerome Ford. If you could pivot, please do so. Let me just pull up the part two. All right, Titans at Colts. Really the big one, Tony Pollard in today. Obviously, Ryan Kelly, stud center for the Colts, is returning, which is good news. Alex Pierce is out. That should be A.D. Mitchell should be kind of the guy who steps in. The one thing that, the Titans are is they are an out wide defense, meaning they funnel a bunch of points to the perimeter. Really tough in the slot, so tough for Josh Downs. Maybe Michael Pittman has a solid PPR day in wide receiver 3 PPR day for him. EJ Speed, stud little linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, is out today. That's notable for Tony Pollard's matchup and Tajay Spears. Vikings Seahawks, obviously the rain is the biggest impact here. Obviously, I don't live in the upper Northwest. The weather reports are saying light rain. Let's pray. But both sides are pretty much healthy. Kenneth Walker officially back in. So is Zach Charbonnet. So is Geno Smith. And also Stephon Gilmore, cornerback, is going to be back this week as well. Patriots at Bills. Marcus Jones, slot cornerback, is out today. I know it's really cold up in Buffalo. It's going to be a cold weather game. But Khalil Shakur should be solid in PPR formats. Marcus Jones being out is their main slot guy, and the Patriots are a slot funnel defense anyway, so I like Khalil Shakur in PPR. Jags at Raiders. The biggest one is Aiden O'Connell being back in. A bunch of other injuries to the running back core for Sear McCormick, Zamir White. However, I like Alexander Madison. I think he's going to be okay today. If you need to start him in a spot at a pinch, I think he'll get you double-digit fantasy points in PPR formats. The last time he was kind of the main guy with Amir Abdullah was against Pittsburgh. He did have a touchdown and 5 targets in that game. So you're kind of hoping for that as well. Evan Ingram, of course, being out. Brenton Strange 2 thumbs up, baby. Let's go. Let's get weird today. Get it done. Mac Jones and Brenton Strange for the fantasy titles. I love every second of that. 49ers at Dolphins. All the running backs are just out. Just everybody. Just kidding. Patrick Taylor will be getting the start today. Honestly, I prefer Patrick Taylor over Jerome Ford, in my opinion, based on the matchup here. So good news for the Dolphins, as both tackles should be back in this game. Obviously, last week they actually lost both guys in that game. They should be back this week. That should help Tua at home. Jalen Waddle's the biggest name that should be out today, obviously. Listen, I think Tyreek Hill has to be started. You can't sit him with Jalen Waddle out. And, of course, Jonnu Smith should be peppered along with Devin Achane in PPR formats. Buccaneers at Cowboys. Cade Otton is the big name. This is really the Jalen McMillan wide receiver 3 streamer appeal. Obviously, the matchup's good with Trayvon Diggs also out, but the bigger news is that Cade Otton is out. So, obviously, that's why I like Jalen McMillan today. We do have some injuries to the Tampa Bay defense as well. Linebacker KJ Britt. Both safeties are out again. Listen, Cooper Rush. Do it for the Gingers, baby. Let's get it done. Have some fun today. And lead me to a fantasy championship. Can't believe I would said that. That was not on my bingo card. Cooper Beebe, the center for the Cowboys, will be back too, so that should definitely help that run game against a really tough Bucs front. And then on Monday night, Saints, Packers, of course, Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara, no Taysom Hill. Now, listen, the MVS is questionable. Reports have come out that the Saints plan to use a committee. Obviously, take that for what you want, but Coach Speak Index does a really good job with this stuff. And obviously, in the past, Alvin Kamara did kind of rotate with Kendre Miller and Jamal Williams. I do expect Miller to be the lead guy, but don't be surprised if all 3 guys get work. Good news, though, is Quay Walker, one of the better middle linebackers for the Packers, will be out today. On Monday night. So that should help the run game a little bit. Jair Alexander is back in. Of course, that should definitely help the Packers defense. And then Javon Bullard, starting safety, is out. So obviously, if you're trying to bank on a Saints, we do not recommend that. Kendre Miller is probably the only guy you're kind of interested in. Maybe Juwan Johnson if you're really desperate at tight end. But overall, that's all we got. All right, let's bring the guys back in. Talk a little bit about this guy. We're going to throw it back to you, man. Let's bring the team back in.
Beautiful. Welcome back, everybody. Bob, great job. If you feel like you need to take a water break yourself, my man, please do so. Beautiful. We're back. All right. Second hour of the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. We got Matty Styles, Davey Cruz, Derek Favret, Bob Lamarco, you just heard from. My name is Sky Guasco. We're taking you through the next 46 minutes until kickoff. Let's get it done, gentlemen. Tyler Sperry, good morning, buddy. Hope you're doing well. We have established that you're not necessarily a Ravens fan. It was just a Lamar Jackson question a while ago. But shout out to your Ravens. Somebody's got mad feedback. Stiley. All right. Tyler Sperry, Ryland or Richard for the kickers. And then we have the kicker of the week question coming up here. So, Matt, go ahead and unmute. Give us the answer and then just mute back. I'm not sure what's going on. Go ahead.
The daughter is showering in the room right next door to where I am recording. So
who showers on a Sunday morning?
Yes.
She should know better.
Over to Bob. Bob's the kicker guru. By the way, did it go away, the sound?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the shower. Give me the Minnesota kicker. Beautiful. No, wait. No, give me the one that's got the better weather.
Yeah, indoor kicker for me. But okay, Bob or Dave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chad Ryland as well.
Yeah, same for me.
Chad Ryland is my K1 of the week, baby.
Whoa.
Number 1 in my metric. We got it with Big Will last week. This week we're going to Chad. I picked up Chad in every one of my leagues. Tyler, shout out. Love it, baby. 199. Perfect amount. Very nice. Very thoughtful. Chad Ryland for the fantasy championship. By the way, that's one of my streamers this week. My Island of Misfit Toys includes Chad Ryland. Join me on this quest as he misses 2 field goals and I throw my remote through the TV. Excited.
Easy. Well, Tyler's contribution might help you get a new TV. Tyler, thank you so much, man, for the contribution. Again, that contribution is going directly to our friends at Good Sports, helping underprivileged youth play football, baseball, basketball, pickleball, I think is probably a thing for kids at this point. A little cornhole, getting them ready for the university life, whatever it is. Bob?
Just on a side note, so we are about to wrap up for the season. We have collected $92 up to this point. That $2 gets us to $94. Let's make it a clean 100 so we donate at the end of the season.
Thank you, everybody.
That'd be awesome. If we can get another $8, we'll donate $100 to Good Sports for the season. So that'd be really cool. So let's get that done.
Appreciate you all. Epic Fail did have a kicker of the week question down the way. I just want to make sure that is Ryland for you there, Bob.
Yes, it is. Let's go. Let's get it done.
All righty. Dylan, good morning. Playoffs, baby. Full PPR, different league, 3 separate questions. All right,
Nice.
Dylan. 3 separate questions. Start 1 running back and 1 flex. Abdullah, Madison, Spears, Adunze, Strange. 1 tight end, Henry or Strange. 1 running back, 1 tight end, Ken Walker or Jerome Ford, Ertz or Chikakonkwo. Have not mentioned Chikakonkwo a single time on this podcast. Maybe the show at all this year, and he was like a top 5 drafted quarterback or tight end last year. Thanks. Merry Christmas. All right, Dylan, we got a lot to decipher here. Matt, feel free to break this down however you choose, but we have 3 separate situations going on here. Go for it.
Madison and Strange in the first question, Strange in the second question, Ford and Ertz in the third question.
Man, nice. Not just bam, bam, bam. Well done, sir. Davey?
And Ertz just came off the injury report, Bob. I think you mentioned that in your
He did.
speech.
Yep. Active.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be for the first one, running back and the flex will be Madison, and I'm going to go with I guess I'm going to go with Strange. I'm not going to feel great about it, but he's the one I know that has a full role. As far as the 1 tight end question, yeah, I'm going to go Strange over Henry as well against the Raiders rather than Henry against Buffalo. Yeah, no, give me Strange as the 1 tight end and 1 running back, 1 tight end. I'm going to go Ford over Walker, and I'm going to go Ertz over Chig.
All right, so I want Madison and Strange as well. I'm all about that game in Las Vegas today. Strange in the second one, and Ford and Chig. I want Chig in that one over Ertz. We saw a spike in his targets last week, and he responded with 8 for 59. That's a nice 14-point gain that I'll take. So yeah, give me Chig in the last question.
I'm just going to be fully transparent. One of my biggest blind spots is like these backup running backs who get some touches. Like Tajay Spears, I'll never know when all of a sudden he's going to get 12 touches and one of them goes for a touch. I'll never be able to predict that. So I'd rather start Madison. I love the matchup. I think he's a much safer play. I like Brett and Strange too. So give me both those guys. Strange also over Henry. And then the last one, I'm going to go K9 and Ertz for my.
Yeah, I was actually really excited. I just asked our group chat here off screen about Spears, and before Tony Pollard was definitely active, I just heard all week that he was questionable, leaning doubtful almost, and it looks like he is active now. So I was getting excited for Spears, but I'm going to agree with Bob there. I'm going to go Madison and Strange for the first one, Strange for the second one, and boy, I'm going to go Ford. I just think Charbonnet is going to get more work, and if Kenneth Walker doesn't score, I don't think they're going to be throwing it much. So I'll go Ford, and then I'm going to go Ertz. I just think he's a reliable check down there. So, Davey, did you get all that tracked down?
Let's take some inventory. We got a sweep for Madison as the running back. We got a sweep for Strange as the tight end. We got a sweep for Strange as the second tight end. Ooh. And in the third question, we got a 4-1 vote for Ford and a 4-1 vote for Ertz.
4-1 vote for Ford, 4-1 vote for Ertz. All right. So either way, we did make some headway there.
So
Best of luck, Dylan.
We were definitive.
Best of luck, Dylan. James, good morning. Full PPR. We need 2 flex and a tight end. Hawkinson, Kraft, Addison.
Give me both in Minnesota.
Addison and Hawkinson. Dave?
So we've got Hawk and Addison. Yeah, I'm going to go Hawkinson, Addison as well. I just it'll wind up being like a 40 to 20 games since I said it, but I'm going to go with go away from the Packers passing attack.
Derek, you've been liking Kraft on the podcast this
I
week.
do like it, and I generally don't like to play a wide receiver and a tight end from the same team, especially in a rain game.
Yeah,
like that is,
and behind Justin Jefferson,
and behind Justin Jefferson. That's right, and Aaron Jones for that matter. I mean, he's getting a lot of workload too. So
who?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. So yeah, I have to go with really the way I really see this, and I have to go Kraft and Addison. I like Hawkinson, and I could be wrong there, but there's just too much. There's too much telling me not to play the same two off the same team. So yeah, I'll go Kraft and Addison.
How weird would it be going double tight end here? Man, the Seattle has been clamped down on perimeter receivers. Like, it's been really good. Kraft. The problem with Kraft, I feel like if he doesn't score, he gets like 2 targets. Like last week, got 2 targets, and you're like, all right, one of them didn't go for a touchdown this week. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Minnesota, guys. I'm gonna go Hawkinson, Addison.
Addison, automatic. I know that it's a challenge, but he's been too on fire. Man, Derek was repping Kraft hard on the pod all week. I like that. It's hard to rank Hawkinson higher than Kraft just because of the potential, but I kind of like it. I'm going to go Kraft and Addison.
Okay, we got 3-2 Hawkinson, and Addison's a sweep.
James, moving forward, please do us a favor. Full PPR need 2, comma, dash, ellipses, middle finger emoji, whatever you're feeling, then flex tight end. That would really help us if you wouldn't mind.
Definitely middle finger emoji.
Whatever you want, man. You can do a peach. I don't care what you do. A little boba. Just separate that for us moving forward. Epic fail. PPR Abdullah or Debo. Oh, my God. How about that comparison? Abdullah or Debo or Kendre Miller. We need one in PPR flex.
Kendre Miller, because I assume he's going to get the volume. Otherwise, this is a mess.
Yeah. How far is Debo falling?
Dave, remember?
He's still falling.
Remember, Dave,
Yeah. I'm going to go with Kendre Miller as well.
Yeah, Dave took the words right out of my mouth. I won't repeat them for obvious reasons.
Thank you, Derek.
And it's a matter of workload. It's not a great matchup. New Orleans going up to Green Bay in 25-degree weather, but there's something about Kendre Miller, and this might be his breakout. So I'll take a shot at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kendre.
Kendre as well. If the all-pro selections were based on IR roster spots, the Niners sweep the league probably. No question about it.
Yep, Detroit right behind him.
I will say the Kendre Miller, I know the report came out with Coach B Index, and we talked about that for a minute and like how they're going to play a bunch of guys. Just when you watch Kendre Miller play, he's special. Like, he is special. Like, he looks better than Alvin Kamara as a runner. I'm not saying as a pass catcher, of course, but like, he looks different. And I know they're going to be down big, but you got to sometimes you got to just bank on the talent and hope that Kendre gets it done. So, that's my 2 cents for that one.
Epic fail. Good luck. Danzel. Good morning. Jennings, Adam Thielen, Kendre Miller, Patrick Taylor, Drake London, Garrett Wilson. We need 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a flex. 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a flex. Maddie?
Garrett Wilson for sure. Give me Thielen at home with good weather and not a quote-unquote rookie quarterback, even though Bryce Young is kind of a rookie quarterback.
Playing much better lately.
He is playing much better. One running back would be Miller for volume alone. And my flex is going to be. Who were the Niners playing? Remind me.
Miami.
Ooh, I don't like. That's a good pass defense. Give me Drake London and hope for Michael Penix season to start today.
Okay, my 2 wide receivers. I'm assuming that's Garrett Wilson. So I'm going to take Garrett Wilson against the Rams and Drake London against the Giants. As my flex, I'm tempted to go with Thielen, but I think I'm going to go with Patrick Taylor.
And Miller's your running back?
Oh, okay. One more, huh? Yeah, then it'll be Miller as my running back. Sorry.
Yeah, so Wilson in London for me, Miller at running back over Taylor, and I want Adam Thielen as well.
Jennings, Thielen, Miller, Wilson.
Yeah, Leggett's out. Coker's going to play, but he was questionable this week, so should be a lot of Adam Thielen today. That's a smash for me. I'm going to stick with Kendre Miller and
Kendre.
I know.
Please
Adam,
get it done.
Adam Thielen and Wilson from our wide receivers. Kendre Miller's my running back. Man, I don't want to be invested in the Niners. I can't do it as a fan and fantasy. I'm sorry, it's a personal thing. So I'm going to go Drake London. We don't root for Huskies, but we do root for fantasy points. Let's go with Drake London. Before we move on, Matt, quick question. Over under 1.5 hamstrings pulled with you on a Lambeau leap?
I'd blow them both out. Just running up to the wall. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Adam Schefter's Lambeau leap?
It's the worst.
It's so would you get a little higher, a little more bounce than Shefty, or are you kind of in the same ballpark?
For sure. I would try to get in shape the months leading up. Schefter barely hit the wall. That's how bad his.
That was tough. That was tough to watch. Yeah, Derek, you seem a little. Derek, you seem suspect. You've known Matt a long time.
I've seen Matt's athletic prowess 20 years ago. Yeah, he's gonna need more than a month.
Oh,
How much,
love it.
I just want like a montage of Matt training for like him just running up to other walls and just jumping up or practice the leap.
Yeah, whatever I need to do to be ready.
So Derek, like the first day one, he's barely getting off the ground every time, and he's like, all frustrated. And by week 2, he's got a picture of Derek at the top, and he's trying to hit it every time. I love it.
Yeah, it would be either like Chariots of Fire or the theme from Rocky. All of those would be playing in the background. But I will tell you this: I wouldn't cheat. But as the fans came into their seats, I would go find the
strongest,
more robust section and say, here's the deal. I have a bet to win. As soon as I jump, my arms are going up. I need you to bring me to the winning zone. And they'll do it.
There's no rule against, like, and aside from baseball, strike 2, I'm going for it. Aside from baseball, there is no rule against fan interference on a Lambeau leap. I think it's encouraged, actually. So you should be fine there. So Derek, you're saying Matt's not really a parkour guy.
Yeah, I'm safe. I'm safe with the counter bet there. I'll bet the under.
Okay. Yeah, Matt used to run the outfield and then decided, you know what? Pitcher's really close to the dugout.
That's right.
You don't have to run as far.
And as his coach, I endorsed that decision at the time.
Dig it. How'd we do, Dave?
Getting back to Denzel's question, the odd men out are the 49ers.
Yeah, should be a nice day for the Santa Clara boys. Official Savage, welcome back.
Go Lions.
No questions. Good luck all. Go Lions. Look at that, Matt. Good sportsmanship. I mean, just where you guys have come in your relationship really is just a heartwarming story. You know what I mean?
It actually has something to do with Goff, Laporta, and Gibbs and Scott Fishbowl. But yes, I'm okay. Fair
enough. We'll take it. As long as it's not the Bears, am I right?
You are right.
All right. Jeffrey, thank you. You're very welcome. Go Pats. Mr. Magic, Jaden over Kyler. I have the same exact question, gentlemen. So Jaden Daniels.
Absolutely.
Jaden Daniels or Kyler. We got the Eagles or Kyler playing in the cold. Again, Texas kid playing in the cold. How you feeling, Matt?
I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's Daniels for me as well.
Yeah, I wrote Kyler as one of my quarterback sits this week, and I'll stand by that still today. So I'll go Kyler. I will go Jaden. Sorry.
Let's see. How did they do last time?
Terrible.
What?
Jaden Daniels.
191-1. Yeah.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels 202, 9 fantasy points. I'm sorry, that was against Pittsburgh. I read the
191-1.
Thank you. 191-1 in a pick. Not much on the ground either. That was in Philly. This one's in Washington.
And he's not hurt.
And Philadelphia's, secondary is dominant right now.
I'm going to go Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm going Kyler Murray in my league. I know Jaden can get it done, but and Kyler, both these guys are really hit or miss. They have huge ceilings. I just think Kyler on the ground might have just more of a floor. And I'm very, very, very confident they're going to force Trey McBride a touchdown today. So that's at least one for Kyler. And maybe two, just out of spite. So I'm going to go Kyler Murray, but that one's really, really tight.
That same thing's going to happen. Darnold is going to get Hawkinson his first touchdown this week as well.
I like it. How are we doing, Dave?
We got 3-2 Daniels.
3-2 Daniels. All right. The boss has popped off. We got a quad box. Back to old school. This is just retro.
He's going to ruin it.
From our roots, gentlemen. Quad box. Lightning bets. Good morning. Half PPR. Have to start one in a flex out of these options. Who do I go with? Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, ETN. Haven't heard him in a while. Pollard and Thielen. So go back to the first one there, please. Half PPR, we need to start one in the flex. So we're only starting one of these players. Go ahead and bring him back up. Wilson, Smith, ETN, Pollard, and Thielen. Nice mix in a flex spot.
Because of what Tyjae Spears showed last week in a negative game script with all of the catches and 2 touchdowns, I'm going to lean Garrett Wilson, even though it's half-point PPR.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Pollard. I just out of the 5 guys, I feel pretty confident on him against a pretty porous run defense.
Typically, I go with a running back in a half PPR, or I look that way first. But no, in this case, it's going to be either Wilson or Thielen, and I'm actually leaning Thielen on this one. Something tells me this is a Thielen game. I like the matchup. I like his targets. 100 yards in 2 of the last 3 games. Yeah, I will go Thielen, and I'll say that I'll hedge it a little bit because, as you alluded to, Sky, if these are his flex options,
yeah,
probably not
just
relying.
one flex.
Yeah, you're probably not relying on the flex player to win his matchup. He must have a stack team, so I could take a little bit more of a risk, and in that case, I'll take the upside of Thielen over Wilson.
Yeah, what Derek said. Assuming you have monsters ahead of these guys, which you probably do, this guy is I just want my points. I want my 12, 14 PPR points. I think Wilson gets me that, and I think Thielen gets me that. But Devontae is on fire, and so is Brees has a pulse again. Rodgers is leaning that way, so I'm gonna lean Thielen as well. Again, Liggett out, and Jalen Coker had an 80-some yard touchdown last week, but hasn't done much otherwise. Not many other options there outside of Hubbard, so I'm gonna go Thielen.
And before we move on, Sky, you kind of mentioned it with Devontae. I mean, this game is supposed to be played at 25 degrees, which is reminiscent of Rodgers and Adams playing in Lambeau. Mm-hmm. And I see that connection. We saw it last week. I see that connection again as being more paramount. So that gives a little bit of a downside to Wilson, just enough to play Thielen in my mind.
Give pets for us, Matt. How do we do, Dave?
We got Thielen over Pollard and Wilson.
Thielen over Pollard and Wilson. All right. So we just did a roster change for him there. And again, just for giggles and wiggles, would you throw your roster in the chat just so we could see who else you have going along with those guys? Because that's a fun team there.
Roster.
All right, Bill.
Indeed.
Basketball, Snell season, love it. A guy called Ed. True or false, Dave? This guy's name is actually Ed.
A guy called ED. So whatever you think ED stands for.
No, don't do it.
It stands for a few things. But
do not do it.
it's, okay, let's get to the question. Hey, all, half PPR. Bob, your typing is so much more loud than your voice. It's like, I think it's just the gain on your microphone potentially. Half PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Essentially, bench 1. T, nice. First name basis. Like to see that. T. Higgins, Jawan Jennings, Brian Thomas Jr., Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Devon A. Chan, or start all and bench Caleb Williams.
Wow.
So we're gonna skip Matt on this one. Wait, why? What am I misreading here? Why would
So
you
what
not
he's saying? What he's
Superflex?
saying is he's got all these options, and he wants to bench one of them, or he wants to start all of them and bench Caleb Williams in his super flex spot. That's what that says to me.
Matt, do you have an actual answer?
Yeah, I'm sitting Caleb Williams.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to sit Jennings.
Yeah, I come from the school in the superflex that you don't have to start a quarterback in that superflex position if you've got the other players to pick up this pay. And if this was a full PPR, I might think differently. But because it's a half PPR, I'm going to sit Jennings and stick with Caleb Williams.
Which thoughts about Jennings today, Sky?
He's going to get volume. He's got to catch the pass, and then he's got to continue to run with it, which he hasn't been doing lately. I don't love it. I mean, he's a good player. He's going to get work, and he missed a big play last week, but he's not reliable. Not as he was previously.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about Caleb is like a lot of the production came late in that game against the Lions a few weeks ago. That was in the Dome, and I just don't think Jared Goff and company are going to be putting up major points in this one. Not like they normally do. Let's say still in the 20s.
Caleb Williams carries a pink purse. The end.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's between Jennings and Caleb. I think that's the right call. Yeah, I wonder if it's 6 or 4. It's probably 6, right? Superflex.
Yeah.
I'll say Jennings.
Yeah, I was looking at Caleb, who actually did torch the Lions impressively. 256, 4 touchdowns, QB5 on the week. But Bob laid it all out there. I think the Lions, even without David Montgomery, I think the Lions are just going to run a lot today. In Chicago, 30 degrees. And I think the Bears are probably going to do the same. So I just don't think the volume is going to be there or the upside. I'm also going to go with Jawan Jennings. So I say keep the roster as is, bench Caleb Williams. How we do, Dave?
I'm not sure. He wants to bench one out of all these guys. So there were
3 to Jennings, 2 to Caleb.
And I think it's 3-2 to bench Caleb.
I think it's the other way.
2-3
I'm
to
benching
keep Caleb and bench Jennings.
Let's just
I'm
do it really
benching
quick.
Caleb.
I said Caleb.
Yeah,
Bench Caleb.
I'm benching Jennings.
Jennings as well. So 3 to Jennings, 2 to Caleb.
Yeah, 3 to Jennings and 2 to Caleb. So bench Jennings is the win for the.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. All righty. Danny, good morning. Here's the dilemma. Goff in cold weather versus the Bears or Darnold in rain in Seattle. Legit dilemmas both ways and really solid quarterback play. This is a great question. Tough question.
Goff for me.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Darnold in this one.
Yeah, as much as I love him, we know what Jared Goff is on the road, outside, and in cold weather, and it's not a good mix. So, process of elimination, I'm going to go with Darnold.
If Cooper Rush is available, I'd play Cooper Rush over both these guys. If not, I'm going to go Sam Darnold.
Wait a minute. Did you hear what you just said?
He's been repping
Yeah.
Cooper Rush all week on the pod.
It's my sweet boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't wait.
I would. I'm on it. I'm with you, Bobby.
I mean, A, he's a ginger, but B, indoors plus matchup.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah. Neither of these guys are in good position. So yeah, I'll take Cooper Rush. He's been coming on. He's more comfortable out there.
So in your playoff matchup to win and go ahead, you're going to bench Goff and Darnold and start Cooper Rush.
So
I mean, that's what I hear you saying. Do it.
the last two times he's
No,
faced
no,
Chicago on the
that's-
road,
I don't care about that.
36 and 1 in
Don't care.
2022. And then
Don't care.
last year he had, let's see, 161, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in Chicago.
Don't care. I'm saying, are you willing to play Cooper Rush to move
Yes.
forward?
I am.
Okay.
I'm literally playing Cooper Rush in my biggest league right now.
Over
I'm in.
over who?
I was streaming quarterbacks, so
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not over these two guys.
I'm willing to take the bet. You want to bet Goff versus Cooper Rush? 6 point per
Done.
passing touchdown? Let's do
Done.
it. All right.
You're an idiot. I hate you.
Let's see. Let's do it.
I hate your stupid mouth.
Man,
So,
go ahead, Dave.
No, I can't believe I think you're being honest. I cannot believe that you're saying that. I really
We'll see.
cannot. Oh my god, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Sounds like a couple of
love
chicken
it.
parms are on the table
I
here.
love it.
Nice. I like to see that. All right.
There is a thing as getting too cute in the playoffs, and that's what Bob's doing.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm gonna go with Darnold as well.
okay. So it's
You sure you don't
4-1
wanna go
Darnold
Rush?
and 1 vote that Bobby is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by
one
the way,
other-
for the record, I've hated Bobby since the show started. I mean, that's
Right.
it's
This has been going on
it's
decades,
It's not
yeah.
news.
I see an Olive Garden gift card exchanging hands cross country, one way or the
nice.
other.
I like that.
Olive
yeah.
Garden, I like it. When you're here
Hey,
with your
hey.
family, let's do it.
Unlimited breadsticks for one.
And,
salad,
and,
hey.
and the chicken parm. Yeah.
Just don't forget the tiramisu. You wouldn't think so, but it's
No.
really high quality for some reason. I will throw out there. I'm not doing this, but my Cooper Rush guy would not be Cooper Rush. It'd actually be Mac Jones against the Raiders. If you wanted to look at
Wow.
the plus matchup there,
Me
you
too. That's
He's
the
been on
bet.
fire.
Mac Jones or Cooper.
I think
Rush.
he's my streamer over these guys in weather issues. So if you're concerned about that, I would swing Mac Jones. But we just
And
demolished
Aiden O'Connell, add him to that mix too.
Aiden O'Connell's a mix too, yeah. So, and look, Matt's not wrong on getting too cute, but unfortunately, you do need to make the right decision, and your name guy is not always the right decision necessarily. So we'll see. We'll do a side bet. I'll do Mac Jones for the shit of it. We got Aiden O'Connell and Cooper Rush over potentially Sam Darnold and Goff, though. But overall, Dave, how do we land?
So it was 4-1 Darnold, but as alternates, Cooper Rush was a popular choice. Mac Jones was a popular choice, and Aiden O'Connell was thrown in there for seasoning.
Got it. Love it. All right.
Mac Jones goes for 300 today.
300. I love it. Official Salvage is back. Gentlemen, we do have half a dozen questions left, and we have 14 minutes until kickoff. Make sure you get your own lineups dealt with as well, and we'll be into it. All right, official Salvage, here we go. Lions get Emmanuel Mosley and Melifonwu back this week, so Davis isn't that big of a loss. Love that on the back end. How about the DST questions there? Brian Thomas Jr. going hard. Neighbors, Brian Thomas. Matt's going with Brian Thomas. Dave?
I'm going to go with Neighbors.
Thomas for me.
Thomas for me.
Okay, Thomas as well. Derek, I got to really zoom in. I got like a A-Rod on the Yankees, maybe like a Gary Sheffield even on the emoticon there. Can you just for Bernie Williams? Like, can't really tell, but
No, that's
anyway,
much too small. Much too small for me. I can't tell.
Like, yeah, it's even Prince Fielder potentially. It looks like a right-handed batter though. So, anyway, I'm gonna go Brian Thomas. Braden, let us know who that is, please. It matters. And you brought up baseball, not us, for the record. Epic fail. Sit one, half PPR, Lamb, McLaurin, Neighbors, and Adams. Woof. This is a heater.
It's the right answer is probably McLaurin, but I think I'm benching Neighbors.
Yeah, I'm not benching the guy that has the most targets on the year out of any NFL player. So I'm going to bench McLaurin out of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be Neighbors for me.
McLaurin for me.
Boy, Terry has been on fire. I'm going to bench Neighbors. I know the targets are there, but I just...
Neighbors is the guy.
Also, did we do kicker of the week yet? We did. Who was that again, Bob?
Chad Ryland.
Arizona.
Arizona kicker versus Carolina.
Boom. Next.
Guarantee you he's going to miss one field goal today. And it's going to drive me very upset. It's going to make me very upset. But he's still going to do enough. But he's going to miss one. And it's going to be a fun one, too. It's going to be like 48 yards. And I'm going to be super mad about it.
Sounds like
you made me very angry, Bob. So there, suck it.
I can't wait for Jared Goff, 220, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I can't wait for it.
Mac Jones is going nuclear today. Mac Jones. Michael, starting Kyron Williams.
Only one of them.
Keon Williams. Kyron Williams, Bucky. I'm on Ross St. Brown already. We started Ladd, need a flex. Walker, Charbonnet, Thielen. I saw that Seattle made Charbonnet a captain. Annie is starting. That is correct, Michael. Both of those are true. So we need one here as a flex. Walker or Charbonnet for the Seahawks or Thielen.
Do we see anywhere where it says PPR? I do not see that, so we're going to assume half.
Yeah.
Give me Thielen. I don't want to fight over the 2 running backs.
That's exactly what I would have said. So yeah, I'm going with Thielen over the dogfight in Seattle.
Yeah, same for me. It's gonna be Thielen. Making Charbonnet a captain. I can not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I can look at that the opposite way, giving him a bone because Walker's coming back, and Walker will end up with the most. Starting doesn't mean anything. It's obviously how much production. So. I'm staying away from that situation completely if I can. Give me Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen as well.
Thielen.
That is a sweep.
All right. Lightning Bet, you're very welcome. Good luck to you.
I like watching Dave give the, I like that. You know what I mean? This is good. Just buying in. I love it.
Projecting about 5 more points than my opponent. Again, guys, please do not get too excited about projections. They're exactly that, and they change every play in the NFL. I don't know if this is true. This is just the information I'm given that Carlos is God. I don't know if that's facts.
It could be. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just reading what I'm told. Morning, folks. Good morning. Almost afternoon. 10 minutes, gentlemen. Should I start Scary Terry, Jacoby Myers, Judy, or Ridley? We haven't talked about Calvin Ridley, and he usually comes up every week in full PPR.
I think the right answer is Jacoby Myers, but I simply am not going to be able to sit Terry McLaurin.
The Eagles last time smashed the Commanders' passing attack. I think some of that had to do with a rib injury that Jaden Daniels was dealing with. I'm gonna probably start McLaurin, But if I needed a safer floor, I'd go with Myers.
Carlos might even tell you that was Adam's rib.
Heyo, nice. I got you.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a baseball reference known as left field.
No,
that
was
was
way more about Sunday.
Yeah, that was a home run shot to the gap.
No, yeah, that was solid.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely not going to be Judy. Just take him right off this list completely. I don't mind Ridley, and I don't mind McLaurin, and I don't mind Myers. So this one's a tough one for me. I'll probably, if it was me, it'd be hard to go away from McLaurin, but if I'm just telling you what I think Ridley is the right play. But I don't mind you going with McLaurin.
And Bob, did you confirm that O'Connell is in and starting?
Yes.
He's in.
Boy,
I'm going with Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I figured. Yep. Again, we've already said we think that might be the highest scoring game of the day, right? So, if so, it's not going to be a goose egg from Jacoby Myers.
Actually, Tampa-Dallas should be the highest scoring game of the week.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah. Except Cooper Rush will have nothing to do with that.
He won't
No,
be.
all field
Figure
goals.
that out. Figure
field
that
goals.
one out. Figure out that one. You know?
All field
Super
goals.
weird.
Ezekiel
Brandon
Elliott will have 2 touchdowns.
Zeke, big game for Zeke.
Zeke and Brandon Aubrey.
Jacoby Myers for me. All right, let's get these last couple in, gentlemen. We got a couple personal ones we need to get in as well. Captain Joe King, not JK. Joe King. Would you play Jacoby over McLaurin? We just did this due to the horrible matchup. Jacoby Myers or McLaurin?
And we split.
So here's the question: is would you? Yeah, I would. I don't necessarily know that I want to, but the Philly D versus I've said McLaurin in the last question, but yes, there is a world where I would start Jacoby Myers over McLaurin. Yes, I'm trying to jinx Terry McLaurin, so I'm going to say no. Start Terry McLaurin. He's the best receiver ever.
The Jags secondary is the gift that keeps on giving, folks.
Jacoby for me, pretty easily.
For
Not even
about 4
close,
years
man.
in a row.
For real.
IRL.
We
So
good on
for
that
that
one?
one, it's Myers slightly over McLaurin.
Okay. Epic fail. Falcons DST or Packers DST or the Bills. So we got to pick one of these defenses here.
I'm going to lean into Green Bay. I'm a homer, but part of that is the weather and the matchup with no real offensive weapons for the Saints. The Falcons were elite last week, but they still they're the lowest in the league for sacks. So I think that might have been a slight aberration, but they do have a good matchup. The Bills also have a great matchup, but they tend to kind of let teams hang around a little bit. They don't just shut people out. So give me the Packers defense.
Yeah, it's the Packers for me as well. I like all of these teams, but give me Green Bay over the other two.
Yeah, same. Packers def should be a smash. Falcons should be a good one as well, but I'll lean the Packers.
It better be the Packers. That's all I can say. Come on.
Yeah, Packers for me as well. They're my number one DST this week. Thanks, guys. You're very welcome. Epic fail with one last one. Anybody has any other questions? This is your final opportunity. We got 5 minutes to kick off, so you got about 90 seconds to get your questions in. Best of luck to everyone. Epic fail, Tracy or Spears? PPR.
Give me the lead back, volume-wise. So give me Tracy. Pollard's fully healthy.
If I thought Spears was starting and going to get the touches, it would be Spears for me over Tracy. But I'm gonna lean Tracy.
Yep. Same.
Tracy.
Ditto what Dave said.
Yep, Tracy for me.
Tracy.
Tracy.
Run us out, Bob.
I got a question for Dave. Dave, would you pick Mac Jones over Cooper Rush today?
No.
So we
No,
got
I
two
like
Cooper
Mac
Rushes.
Jones, but I like Mac Jones, but I like that matchup in it's in Dallas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me Rush over Mac.
2 starting running backs, Patrick Taylor or Tracy?
Ooh,
Taylor.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go Taylor over Tracy as well.
No, it's got to be Tracy. Taylor was a fourth string running back for a reason.
Sixth,
So,
Derek.
all right, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
No, we'll do that.
Now
Sixth.
it's got to be Tracy.
Tracy for me too. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, that's going to be it. We're going to run us out here. We got a couple of Percy questions that we can just do as we get off here. So we appreciate everybody. Best of luck. We'll catch you the rest of the week. We are going to be back here for championship week. For Matt and Derek and Dave and Bob and Jeff and myself, we'll catch you next time on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. Good luck, everybody. We are out of here.